Alright guys, coming at you with another video. Today I want to talk about the beliefs that keep people poor. But before we get to the topic, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is for informational purposes, so please do your own due diligence. Alright, so let's get to it. So, people stay poor not because they're stupid, and it's not because they're lazy. It's because they have a poor mindset. So this poor mindset are beliefs about money that hold them back. So again, you have two types of mindsets. You got the poor mindset and you have the wealthy mindset. And they think opposites of each other. So the mindset that we need to get rid of is the poor mindset. So let's get into the belief. All right, so the first belief is that people believe that they need a large lump sum of money to get started in investment, which can be extremely deadly. And here's the reason why it could be extremely deadly. It is because when you are waiting, that means you are not spending time in the market. You're not putting time in the market. So what happens when you're not putting time in the market? That means you are missing out on a bunch of returns at the beginning. So let's take two people, right? So let's call them person A and person B. Now let's say person A. Person A believes that he needs a large amount of money to get started investing. So let's say he needs $50,000. He believes that he needs $50,000. So what he ends up doing is he looks at his budget and he plans on saving, maybe not investing yet, but he plans on putting the money into his savings accounts until he reaches his $50,000 goal. So this is going to take him 60 months. Now, let's have person B. Now, person B is going to have the same 5-year span and is going to put $50,000 up too. But this person is going to do it differently. This person B, is going to invest $833.33 a month for a period of 60 months in a low-cost S&P 500 with the annual rate return of 10% a year. So, now, we got person A and person B. They have different situations. So let's look at the end of the 5-year term. So person A has saved up his $50,000. So now he's putting it in the market. Now he only has $50,000. But on the other hand, person B, since he invested $833.33 a month for 60 months at an annual rate of 10% a year, his final balance is a little over $64,000 in his portfolio. So person B has 30% more money than person A. So that just goes to show you how powerful time in the market is. Not time in the market, but time in the market is. Belief number 2. So people believe that if you have a high income, then you're going to become wealthy. And that is far from the truth, because here's what you guys need to understand. Just because you have a lot of money, that doesn't mean you're going to be wealthy. I know I repeated that, but I just need to make that clear. There are people who make a large sums of money per week, per month, per year, and they still end up broke. You know, when, let's just say a person is making $50,000 a month, $600,000 a year, these people can live paycheck to paycheck. So when all the bills are paid on a monthly basis, they are broke. They are living paycheck to paycheck. And if they lose their job, they are screwed. You know, you look at a lot of celebrities. You look at a lot of rappers, singers, athletes, and you see that they make, millions and millions of dollars a year. And what do? They buy flashy things. They buy the big houses. They buy the big cars. They buy the big jewelry. And 5 years later, they have to file bankruptcy because they just can't afford it anymore. And you have there's another instance where there's probably, there are people out there who grew up very poor, and their parents did not have investing advice because they don't know about investing, or they just don't have money to invest. Now, when that person becomes very successful, well, all they're going to do is spend the money because they don't know where to put it, because they don't have that guidance they don't have the guidance to put the money where it needs to go, to where it can grow. So again, high income does not matter. It does not matter. And I'll let you in on something too. Somebody who's making $50,000 a year, who is managing their money, who's not spending a whole bunch of money on useless crap, that has disposable income, who's putting their money in the stock market, is going to be better off on the long run than somebody who's making $50,000 a year. And guys, I know people personally that just blow their money, and and I think to myself, I mean, they make way more money than me, and I think to myself, man, if I could make that type of money, man, I'd be rich in like 5 years. So in this belief, it's all about the mindset, and it's all about the mindset. All right, guys, last but not least, belief number 3. People believe that the market is too risky. Now, I can understand this to a certain extent, because if you make the wrong investments, then yeah, I mean, it can be very risky. I mean, you can lose a lot of money. I mean, you can lose all of your money and be at a negative. Uh, Even investing in the S&P 500 can become very risky if you don't know how to play the cards right. We have gone through a wide variety of market crashes, and a market crash can really hurt the stock market. I mean, it can drop the price down to 50%. And someone who built $100,000 portfolio, let's say that person built that $100,000 portfolio in 10 years. Now they go through a market crash, and now their $100,000 portfolio has turned into a $50,000 portfolio. So what do a lot of people do? They end up panic selling. So they'll say, okay, well, let me take some of this money out before I lose more money. And when people go through this, it's basically out of fear. And when people go through the bad times in the market, people never invest again. Now there are some people that go back, and again, there are some people that are like, no, this is too risky, and they just put their money up in a savings account where they're getting less than 1% interest. Um, I'm just gonna say this. Yes, it can be risky if you panic sell, or if you invest in the wrong investments. You just gotta, and this is a mindset thing too. If you look at the past performance of the market, I mean, we've had a whole bunch of bear markets. We've had a whole bunch, several recessions, several bear markets, several pullbacks. But what people need to understand that have this belief is that it's going to recover. And not only that it's going to recover from the crashes, but it's going to lead you to an all-time high. So if that person just kept their money, yeah, it's down 50K. But if that person just kept their money and just ride out the market, don't even do anything, not only will that person get $100,000 back, but they're going to have more in their portfolio. They're going to have more than $100,000 in their portfolio because they waited, because they had belief in the market. They understood that history repeats itself. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. Guys, if you found this video helpful and informative, please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one.